Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the Minipla Zenkai Gattai Series 04 Zen Kaiser. So you can see this Minipla set is spread across 4 boxes here. You get a nice picture of Zenkai Juo on the front, along with Super Zen Kaiser and Super Two Kaiser. This side and the bottom really just have warnings and whatnot, but over here you get the box breakdown. So you can see torso here for Super Zen Kaiser, arms, legs. Then you get Super Two Kaiser down here in a little box, along with the weapon. And then you do get the 2 different heads for the combinations with Vroom and Juron. And then we look at the back here, you can see again, Super Zen Kaiser, Super Two Kaiser. They can make Zenkai Juo. And then it does show the possibilities here, combining with Juron, Vroom, and also Two Kaiser, or Two Kaio, sorry. So we have all these options here, which I think is really cool, just like the DX toy. So without further ado, I'm going to go get everything fully assembled and stickered up, and we'll take a closer look. So here's everything fully built and assembled with all the stickers applied. We have Super Zen Kaiser and then Super Two Kaiser, obviously, just like with the Deluxe. Quite the size discrepancy there. We'll take a look at little Two Kaiser first, because why not? So here is Super Two Kaiser. He is super tiny. You can tell that the body is kind of the same base as Ricky and Katana, because they have the little peg here on the back for the weapon that, of course, he does not have. But you can see the alternate head for Super Two Kaio. This is going to slide up to reveal the face. So the face is one sticker, and then all the gold on the hat is a sticker. And then if we come around to the front, it's the same thing. Gold is all stickers, and then one sticker for the face. And he's got little blue eyes there. He looks happy. And then, of course, you have stickers here on the T-Rex head, all the black up here, the eyes, and then the red around the jaw. And he's got the ridiculous giant T-Rex head jutting out of his crotch. I don't know, it just is what it is. Ball joint here for the head. Kind of a limited ball joint for the shoulders. You can get a little bit of up and down, but mostly just swivel side to side. And then the feet just kind of swivel around. So he's a tiny little guy, but he's fun. Ridiculously proportioned, but fun. So we will put him off to the side. And we'll take a look at Super Zen Kaiser. Now again, he's the majority of the set. It took 3 boxes to build him. And then you get Super Two Kaiser and the other accessories in 1 box. So, you know, this is the bulk of the set here. Out of the 4 boxes, he takes up 3 of them. Just for a little size comparison, here is Super Two Kaio. Or regular Two Kaio, rather, sorry. So you can see they're about the same size. So that's pretty fun. We'll come back to Two Kaio a little bit later on in the video. But yeah, he looks good. Not too many stickers to apply. You have some eyes up here. The visor is a sticker. The mouth. All of the individual orbs are stickers, which is kind of a pain. You have 1 big sticker for the shoulder, and then each individual like black border piece is kind of a sticker there. If we remove this, that was 1 big sticker. And then he's got some stickers down here on the kneecaps and the shins. Honestly, not too bad. Between the 3 boxes to build this guy, each box had like a handful of stickers, maybe 5 or so. Most of the stickers went to some accessory pieces we'll get into later. And you'll see what I mean when we get there. But yeah, all in all, I think he looks really good. He's got a lot of nice articulation. Head's on a ball joint here. The shoulder has a hinge here, as well as a swivel. And then you also have a hinge underneath, and then you have a bicep swivel. You have an elbow joint, as well as a swivel. These pieces, of course, can flip around to cover the hands for Zenkai Juo. You've got a waist swivel here. You've got a kick front, kick to the back, kick out to the side. You have a, I guess, thigh swivel. It's a little bit lower. It's right above the knee joint there. You have a swivel here, kind of at the shin. You also have a bend there, again, for Zenkai Juo. And then you have a swivel at the foot as well as an ankle tilt. So you got a lot of nice articulation in this guy. Looks good. You can see he's holding the weapon here. This just pegs into his fist very simply by this connection here. I'm going to put that off to the side. We'll get back to that a little bit later. You have the guns here on the back. If you really want, you can unpeg these here. And if you want to put them in the shoulder, you could. Of course, we're going to do that for Zenkai Juo in a bit. But it is possible to use them here if you'd like to. I believe he could also just kind of put them in his fists if he wanted to. I believe the port is the same. Yes, so he could just hold these guns. If you wanted him to just wield them as guns, you could do that as well. So, a lot of nice options there. I appreciate it. I think he looks good. I like that he's in scale with the other robots just on his own. He's definitely a little too big to be in scale with like the other Yudo figures. But we are getting a Yudo version of him in the second wave, so you don't really need this one to be compatible because we'll get another one later on. And maybe when I do the video for Yudo 2, I'll bring this guy back and show the two of them together, because he's probably going to come up to probably about here. Although he might be a little taller, so I actually, when I get to Yudo 2, I will bring this guy back, because I'm actually kind of interested to see how tall he'll be in comparison. I don't have the other Yudo figures handy at the moment, but I remember the Change Hero series were probably about here if I had to guess. So, but yeah, he's got a lot of nice articulation. We'll get into this extra accessories that I talked about. So these are just kind of like extra pieces you're going to need for various combinations. They don't have anywhere to store on the... I mean, I guess if you wanted to try to find somewhere to peg this kind of stuff in, you could try to like peg this into the back here somewhere, or... No, I don't really think it's going to work. I was trying to think if there's anywhere you could just kind of store this. It's not. There's nowhere meant to be, you know, stored. I'm trying to see anything. No, there's really... You just kind of have to keep them off to the side. They're for combinations later on. This is going to be for Super 2 Kaio. And then this is going to be when he combines with Juron. But you don't actually need this piece, and I'll get into that a little bit later, but they do include it. And then again, for the different combinations, you get additional heads. So here is a head for his combination with Juron. This has a ton of stickers. This is what I was talking about, the accessories that have most of the stickers. There's a sticker here on the side. You have a face sticker. You have the little Z here. There's a sticker here. You have a sticker for both sides of the horn. So you have a lot of nice stickers there. And then here's the combination with Vroom. Now in this video, I'm not going to do the combination with Vroom. I'm just going to do Juron. You'll get the idea. There was a sticker meant for this piece here, but I am terrible. When I had to do the ones that came with the Vroom Majin set, they're just so hard because they're so long and you kind of wrap them around and they almost end up wrapping around twice and they don't stick very well. And then when you try to like push it down, it's so hard. It's just such a small area, and because it's rounded. So I tried to put it on and I end up really messing up the sticker, so I just took it off. But you can see there's a piece here, this white piece here. Again, the face, sticker over here, the Z for the crest. So there's a lot of stickers. I mean, honestly, I would say in these two head pieces, this is at least 50%, maybe upwards of like 60-75% of the stickers for the set. I'm not even joking. It's at least 50% of the stickers for the set between these two heads. So that is what it is, but they are included. I do appreciate that they include them for when you want to make those combinations, and we'll get to that a little bit later on. But for now, let's go ahead and start with Zenkai Juo. So we're going to start off by just removing a couple pieces. We're going to take the guns off the back here. And there is a little piece that stores on the inside here. We don't need it yet. We're going to need it for the combination with Juron. It's very difficult to get off of here, but I'll get to that a little bit later. But it just kind of sits in there and stores there. So we're just going to take these off for the time being. If you're familiar with the DX release, it's very similar transformation. You're going to just flip these pieces over to cover the fists. And then with this, you don't have to do as dramatic of a kind of leg transformation as you do with the DX, because the DX you kind of have to put all the way down, then bend these. But because there's a lot more articulation points here, you can just kind of, you know, get kind of a general feel for the legs. You don't have to, but you can bend them here. These shin pieces bend up just like the DX, and then you can kind of just, you know, find what you're comfortable with. You don't have to, it's not as dramatic as the DX release. Then you can kind of move these up. You're going to fold down the front here. This face piece does flip down, and that's going to reveal a peg spot, little peg hole right there. And again, you kind of have to find the balance because he also has to kind of stand up. So even though you might want to put him in that squat pose, you kind of have to make sure he can stand. So we'll get there in a moment, but we're going to go ahead and remove the dino head. We're going to open the mouth ever so slightly. And then this is going to just peg in here very easily, just like that. We're going to come around to the back, extend his arms forward, and there are two spots right here and here. The arms are just going to go ahead and peg on there. So we'll get these to peg in. There we go. It's just kind of a light snap. And then we're going to take those guns and peg one on here. They just have these very obvious peg holes on the shoulders. Peg that onto there. And then again, just kind of find a pose that you like. Move this around a little bit. And then I will position the legs. And then one big departure is how you connect the tail. So if you're familiar with the DX release, there's a little channel, and this actually even has it. You can kind of see how there's a spot right here and a spot right here, and it almost looks like you're supposed to slide this on into that channel, but it doesn't look right if you do that. So you can't even really slide it in this way, but if you try to slide it in like this, it doesn't stay very well. If you want to slide it on that way, you totally can. And I'm not really sure what the official way is, but like this way doesn't really stay on that well. Now this does have the bend, just like the DX. You're going to have to move this piece out of the way if you want to use the swivel. But it does have that 45-degree angle swivel. But then again, when you try to do this, it doesn't work because it swivels the opposite way. And if you try to do it this way, it gives a lot of kind of junk in the front, and it just doesn't look right. So I'm not really sure. Like, that channel option is there, but it doesn't really seem to work. So what I do is just do this, and then this can actually just peg in here. Just like that. And then you can kind of play with it. So like if you want to still bend this a little bit, you can. You don't have to. You can kind of play with it a little bit and do whatever you're comfortable with. But it really just kind of pegs on the back there. And then here is our fully transformed Zenkai Juo. I think he looks pretty good. He's got pretty much all the same articulation because you're not really moving anything around. I mean, if you want all the leg articulation is still there, you can, like I said, just position it how you like. You know, this can kind of spin around here, and you can just kind of do whatever you like with the tail, however you want to connect it onto the back. He just sits here. Little Super Two Kaiser just sits on the back. And then, of course, you kind of open and close the mouth of the dinosaur. Get a nice bit of range of motion there, opening and closing the jaw. But yeah, he looks good. I like him. Again, he's about the size of the others, so I'll bring Two Kaio back in here just for a size comparison. And you can see that they're about the same size. So yeah, ultimately, I think he looks good. Fun little dino mode. Up next, I'm going to do the combination with Juron. Alright, so I've gone ahead and transformed him back into Super Zenkaiger form. We're going to go ahead and do a little bit of disassembling here. We're going to remove this arm. We're going to remove this chest piece here. We're going to remove this foot. And then if you're familiar with the DX release, this is going to swing around and these are going to peg together. Now, if you want, you have a couple of options here. This will, you can see that there is a little peg here. If you can see it, there you go. This is going to peg in here. And then this is going to peg in down here at the back of the shins. And then that can be one leg. Now, if you do this, you kind of lose all articulation, with the exception of the ankle tilt. So what you can do as an option, before you swing this around, remove the leg. Remove the left leg. Take the thigh piece out. And then just peg this into the back. This will give you a little bit of knee articulation. It's not a ton, but it is a bit. So if you want that, you can. I guess I'll leave it off just for the purposes. We'll put it off to the side. But the directions show you to kind of take that piece out if you want to get a little bit of leg articulation there. Plus, then you can still move the hip as well, which otherwise you would pretty much lose that. We're going to go ahead and swivel this and bring this down. Then we're going to take the other arm, do the same, and then these are going to just peg on like this. And this will pretty much lose most of the articulation. I mean, you'll still get the swivel in the shoulder here, but you're going to lose your swivels here, your elbows. You get a little bit of tilt here from these pieces, but you're going to lose most of the articulation there. You're going to bring this in, then swivel this like so. This actually has a joint, if I can zoom in here. You want to tilt this down. So you can see that this actually tilts down, and that's so that when you put the head back in here, you can kind of hide the face down, kind of like you're flipping the side open, like with the DX toy. So they want you to be able to tuck that all the way in. So with this piece, you're pretty much ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Juron half. Now, if you have the extra pieces in the waist to give him that waist swivel, you're going to have to remove those because they don't link up here. So if you have those extra pieces they give you in the part, the pack with the bigger foot, you're going to have to remove those and then put them back together. You're also going to take this foot off and put that off to the side. Then we can go ahead and combine these. So these two pegs will peg in up here, and then this one will peg right here in the waist. And then this will all peg together. Now, unfortunately, there's nothing to kind of peg into like the actual crotch area, and it does kind of start to spread apart, unfortunately, but there's not really anything I can do about that. We're going to take this foot piece back, and we are going to peg it in over here. And then we're going to take the new head that we stickered up and drop that into the center here. And then we're going to take this piece and remove this. Now, this piece I showed you before, they give you the option of popping this on here and then plugging this in if you want extra width for this. Or I guess extra depth, I should say. Because, again, there is an option, like with the Juron, to have this extend out farther. But if you use that like extra pack where it kind of streamlines it, you can see I have the thinner piece in here to make it look a little bit cleaner. But if you have the default piece that actually has Juron's arm in it, it would extend out this far. So they give you the option. They give you that extra piece so that it would sit flush with that. But if you're like me and you like the thinner piece, then you don't have to use that piece. You can just take this right off of here and peg this directly into this. And then these two will pretty much sit flush, which is what I like. I just think it looks a little cleaner, looks a little bit tighter, and I like the look of that. So here we go. We do have to attach the guns. So the gun is going to clip here. And then when we talk about that piece that I talked about that was a little difficult to remove, you have to just kind of like wiggle it and hopefully not break the peg off that it's, because it kind of really sits recessed down in there. But you're going to take this, you're going to clip this on, and I forget how this attaches. I think it goes like this. I think this just fits into the front. And then this clips on to like the side here, just like that. And so that way you can have the gun on each shoulder. But there you go. There is the combination with Juron. It's okay. I mean, it looks good. I like the head. I'm glad they gave us the heads. And like I said, I'm not going to show it off here, but you can connect him with room as well. And then you would just use this other head. But yeah, that's pretty much the combination. Pretty much nothing new in terms of articulation. You're going to lose a lot. You're going to have just shoulder movement here. Leg would be pretty much unaffected, except for the fact that you're going to get limited knee joint there. But the hip should be pretty much the same. It's really just the same leg, but with just this piece attached to the back of it. So that's really, I mean, honestly, if you wanted, you could completely leave that off if you want. It's up to you. And then you'd not lose any articulation. But again, it's up to you. It depends on, if you want these to be a little bit more in sync in terms of depth, because that's a little bit closer. But again, it's up to you. You could leave the entire leg connected if you want, if you like that look better. But yeah, there is the combination. Okay, last but not least here, we have the combination for Super 2 Kaio. And it's very simple transformation. You're just going to go ahead and remove this. You're going to swivel the head around. You're going to flip this piece up. You're going to remove Katana, put him off to the side. Go ahead and pop him inside instead. This emblem piece can actually lift out. So we will pop this out. It's a little bit easier said than done. There we go. We're going to go ahead and use this piece here that we talked about with our T-Rex head. We're going to split the T-Rex head in half. It does just completely split in half like so. You can angle the T-Rex head pieces up to like about a 45-degree angle. And then you can open and close the mouth as much as you want. If you want to keep it closed, you can. If you want to open it, you can. Up to you. This little piece here, if I zoom in, has a small nub right there, which is going to fit into this piece here. And when you peg that in, you can see it kind of sits flush with the joint, which is nice. Let me open this up again. So once that's pegged in, you have your two pegs right here. They're going to go into these two peg holes, and that's just going to peg right onto the front. Very easy. And then he's pretty much done. It's just accessories at this point. So we're going to bring this back in. We're going to flip this piece out. This is going to peg in right there. This is going to flip down like so. And then this is going to peg in on here like that. And then we can use this piece here to peg it into his hand. And there you go. There is your Super 2 Kaio. He looks pretty good. I mean, again, you're not really gaining or losing anything in terms of articulation because most of it is still just 2 Kaio. There's not really much to add on here. You're just giving him a weapon, a slightly different chest plate, and a different head. But it's the same ball joint, so you're not really gaining or losing any articulation there. But he looks cool. I like him. So at the end of the day, I think this was a pretty fun set. I mean, I have to admit, it's really impressive that it gives you all the same options that the DX set gives you. You can have Super Zen Kaiser, Super 2 Kaiser individually. You have Zenkai Juo. You have the combination with Juron here. You have Super 2 Kaio over here. So that's pretty impressive. I really like that. And honestly, it's probably got more articulation than the DX set has. Well, I'm just going to say it. It does have more articulation than the DX set has. And that's in all the different forms and everything. So it's a pretty impressive set. It was a fun build. Stickers weren't too bad. Honestly, the worst stickers, in my opinion, to apply were for the different new heads for the combination with Juron or Vroom. But once you get past those, you know, honestly, I think putting Super Zen Kaiser together was fun, easy. The stickers for him weren't too bad. The stickers for Super 2 Kaiser were not great, but not terrible. Like I said, it really was those combination heads that I think were the worst part of stickering. But yeah, it was a fun build. I definitely recommend it. Like I said, pretty decent, viable alternative to the DX if you're looking for something a little bit cheaper. I think this is definitely the way to go. You get all the same functionality with a little bit more articulation. All it is just some stickers to apply. So definitely recommend the set. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.